Evening all, welcome to Sports Unplugged. It's the usual gang. It's me, Chris Brack, Kev O'Sullivan, and Luke Tanner. Gents, how we doing?
Well, good,
Not
mate.
too
Yeah,
bad.
not too bad. It's been a week now since. Remember last week? This time last week,
We don't
Ash
talk
was
about
in,
last week. Last week's gone.
and
We're not talking about that.
we were all gearing up for what was going to be a
Don't,
massive.
Kev. You're
night.
making my blood boil. Don't. Don't.
Yeah,
Don't.
it's been a week. It's been a week. Are we over it? Are we over it?
Not completely, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty much. Yeah.
It is what it is, unfortunately. Sadly, unfortunately, it's the third Champions League loss I've seen. I've seen us win 2 and lose 3, so it's been like, oh.
This is
So-
the second one I've seen. This is the third one I've watched. Second time I've seen them lose.
Yeah,
Sucks,
they sting. They do sting. But look,
Yeah.
if you say to me next season, guaranteed next season, we'll play 63 games. We'll go to all 3 finals again.
Yeah. I'm
we'll
booking
take
my hotel.
And we'll take the lead to the last game of the season. But the only thing not guaranteed is the final results and whether the last game of the season is enough. Sign me up now, because you know what? It's good fun for most of the season.
Exactly.
But-
Yeah, it is.
As Klopp
sure.
is right, you have to be prepared to lose big to win big. It's
Oh, yeah.
True.
the way it happens. But look, let's not talk about that. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's Liverpool's birthday today. 150
Hey.
years.
Whee.
Whee.
Happy birthday.
Hey.
I ain't singing.
Looking good.
Looking good, isn't it? Hey, for 130-year-old bird, she's looking all right. She's tidy.
I know. My bird's got more bling than you. There we go. There's your first terrible pun for the moment.
But yeah,
So-
it was good to see it today because a lot of the times this stuff gets washed away and what have you. But it is good. There's an awful lot of negativity going around in the last week, and don't worry, we'll get into some of it. But
Oh,
it is a good thing. It is a good thing.
Yeah.
And I've
it
seen
is.
someone posted in the Telegram group a picture of the actual deed for the registration of the football club. Picture of the copy. So if you're not in the Discord, in the Telegram group, the link for it is in the bio for the YouTube channel. Just get in there and click on the links for it. It's always good stuff, and there's always a good crack in there. And then if you ever want to chat about Liverpool stuff when you're on work and you're bored, and you don't want to go through the toxicity of social media, there's always a good group of people in there to have a chat with.
There is, and then there's also me you need to chat to, which is also not
Well,
quite
yeah,
good.
there is that.
Yeah, we do let the side down, you and me, don't we?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. So, Luke, 130 years, it's going pretty well so far, isn't it? A few ups and downs, but lots more ups.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, lots more ups than downs. But yeah, Liverpool are still looking good for 130 years, and hopefully for another 130 years more, and more trophies.
Yeah,
more
hopefully.
trophies in the bag. That'd
hopefully.
be great.
Well, hopefully we're pushing over 100 trophies. Then that'd be quite nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. Right, let's deal with one of the elephants in the room. It only took 6 days. It only took Real Madrid to actually confirm what. Guess what? Despite the fact Real fans won't believe this, there was issues at Real Madrid's end as well, and they were pissed off about how they were treated like shite as well. So,
Shock.
and Sukia, give him his credit. Dan Austin's. If you don't follow Dan Austin's Twitter feed, it's not a good read, but it's very informative of what goes on in French politics and basically how much in France they are not liking what's coming out of this because they don't believe the 2 Muppet ministers that they are. But 6 days later, UEFA have done a half-arsed apology, I think I'll call it, which is they've apologised for people being upset and the hurt that was caused. They didn't apologise for the bullshit. The reason we delayed the game was because fans were late, which has been proven out to be bollocks. They haven't apologised for, the beatings outside and all that sort of stuff. There's a lot of things that UEFA need to go for. A quick apology doesn't really help it. And it does feel like the only reason they apologised is because Real Madrid came out and said, we also had the same shit. I mean, it's going like, there's too many things. There's too many holes now in this story. So, Kev, how did you see it?
It was an alphabet soup of a letter that they put out. It's one of those generic letters that companies put out when they're sorry when they've been caught with their pants down. It basically is. We've all seen them. We've all seen these generic apologies that aren't apologies. That they are what they are. I think Kenny Dalglish put out on his Twitter account earlier on that it's a start, but there's a long, long way to go. You know, this investigation that happens, it will be scrutinized. It's the one thing that, whatever about Real Madrid, I don't know what they're like as a fan base, but I know what Liverpool is like as a fan base. It won't go away, and we won't stay quiet, and we will scrutinize. The inquiry will be scrutinized to the nth degree, and it will be thorough. Because if it's not thorough, it will be made known. And the one thing I will give credit for is to the British press, who are fully and squarely behind what the fans are putting out. So we'll see where it goes. But as Kenny Dalglish come out and said tonight, look, it's a start. It's a belated start from UEFA, but let's just see where it goes from here.
Yeah, I mean, Luke, I think Kev's right. The reason it won't be able to be just let to die down and hopefully we'll keep quiet is it's two of the biggest clubs in world football. Real Madrid and Liverpool are iconic names, and for them both to be going, this is bollocks. The way our fans were treated is outrageous. This is the phrase, couldn't organise, piss up in a brewery, isn't it? So, how are you sort of feeling about it? Because I mean, it's just shite, isn't it? It's absolutely horrible. The worrying thing is, no one's deep down probably not surprised that it's trying to be brushed under the carpet or certain people are trying to be blamed. It's
when it was all happening, when I was watching the whole thing, like Twitter was exploding, and we all know Twitter can be an absolute cesspool of people. And there was
great set of lads, come on.
Loads of comments from other people's clubs saying everything under the sun. I'm not going to repeat some of the things I saw.
Other clubs just do that. Other clubs fans just do that.
And I think I got into something with a Newcastle fan, and he was like, "Oh, what do you think?" I said, "Oh, what do you think would have been done if it was Newcastle?" And he was like, "Oh, they just blame it on us." And I'd be like, "Yeah, you've not got the point." But I'm glad this is being done. But this is too little, too late. This is like a half-assed apology to say, "Yeah, we're sorry, but can we just forget about it now?" Because
the worry is
moved on.
The worry is, this is not it's not only us have had this issue. Rangers have also reported the Europa League final
Seville,
where there was no running water. Again, heavy-handed policing. There was no working toilets. Toilets are overflowing. Very basic things. You're thinking that, and they want to pay as much as the Champions League final, but it's not cheap to go to Seville and pay for a European final ticket. So it's not like it's just an isolated. Oh, it just happened in France, and the way France were. The Seville one was horrific as well. And we've seen trouble in the past with these. So it's It's just frustrating. Mike, what worries me is whatever the results of this investigation, and hopefully
very little.
This investigation proves what we all know, that it was on the French police. It's on UEFA's piss poor organisational skills. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think. I don't. I think.
Bad idea. Just maybe one.
Look, here's the thing, right?
I think if you feel like that, but
here's the thing. Tomorrow, England are playing away to Hungary in a stadium that has got a behind the closed door order on it that's going to have 30,000 fans inside.
Interesting. Isn't it?
Nothing is going to happen because UEFA are UEFA, and as long as
the water
is wet and a bowl is round, it will just carry on. It's going to be up to fan groups. It's going to be up to fan channels. It's going to be up to the media to pile pressure on at every opportunity, at every press conference, at every possible occasion. The players get a chance with a microphone in front of them, and they're in France for a knockout game or a group game next year, because odds are some English club is going to be drawn against PSG, to voice what is going on. And what surprised me is the amount of... It's actually really disappointed me, the lack of voice coming out from a lot of the current playing staff on what happened around the ground. Some did, most did, not all. And with some of the platforms that some of these players have, I think they've got an obligation to use that platform for making sure that this doesn't go away.
The only one I've heard was Andy Robertson, but he was interviewed saying what going on. He said, like, look, a friend of mine told me his ticket was fake and it came from me, so that doesn't wash. That's the only one I can think of. Look, if there are others who have said it, correct if I'm wrong, but I do wonder, is that a club directive, which is say nothing until basically it's further down the line, and Billy Hogan, because all the key messages are coming out from Billy Hogan.
Yeah, maybe
he's been very strong in his output and how he's emphasized how pissed off Liverpool are over it and making it known. So maybe it's just like it's the one voice, one message, which is it all comes from Billy Hogan until a certain point, and then players can.
Maybe we'll see how that goes.
So so we'll see how that is. So listen,
I'm sure it's not going to go away in the next weeks and months.
This story,
it's going to keep rolling on.
I don't see anything changing. I don't see anything different happening at all. I just see it as for them it will be business as usual. Basically, I don't see any positive that could happen from this. I just see it as let's just sweep it under the carpet.
Thor is right there. Fabinho's family and Matip has spoken out.
Matip himself or Matip's family? I remember Paul Matip's family got caught.
Yeah, someone in Matip's family was directly.
Yeah, I meant players direct. I mean, the only player direct I've heard who's talked about it is Andy Robertson. And the rest have been ex-pros. Poor Jason McAteer. His poor wife was mugged and his son was assaulted. And I think poor Alan Kennedy got caught in the crush as well. It's just horrible. It's just horrible.
It is a horrific. I mean, this is the thing, right? I mean,
it's something that shouldn't be happening. But
we came on. We did a show on Sunday night, and it was a case that we're all deflated. I was deflated about the results, but I was more sickened, and I couldn't really focus really too much on the match because of what happened beforehand and what you saw on social media about what was going on after. It put the whole bloody thing into perspective. That we were the better side for 95 minutes and we lost 1-0. That's football. That's life. I was talking to my nephew during the week, and it's like he's 18 now, and it was the first time that he felt us, in a final, played well and lost. And you have to accept that is football, and you do.
It's the shit part. It's the shit part where you're on the wrong end of it.
But it's just the rest of it that really snapped me like an elastic band back out of it. That there's a lot more important things in life and in general than 95 minutes of football, no matter how intense we were in the build up to it. What happened that night shows you that if it wasn't for the fans' reaction or non-reaction to the baiting that was going on from the French police and the French youths around the ground,
it could have been a lot worse.
That could have been an awful lot worse. And I mean, the response from the British government is what you'd expect from a Tory government, in fairness.
Apathy.
Absolutely fuck all. Useless. They're about as useful as a chocolate teapot. Bunch of fucking twats, a lot of them.
Well, at least you can eat a chocolate teapot.
True. That has some use.
That has some use. That's bad.
Anyway, I'm going to go and get a can. I'll be back in a sec.
I need after that about the young bit.
sorry, you've got to try and find a positive where you can. But yeah, no, look, sadly that's the apathy that's around in the UK with governing bodies not doing what they're designed to do, and that's not just in football. But look, let's leave that there for the moment until things develop further, as and when I'm sure someone on the shows will be discussing it, commenting on it. So, from one positive story, Sadio Mane. We've got to talk about it. I can't. So, Kev, you shared these quotes with me. Interestingly, actually, the fellow who's shared these quotes actually deleted one of them. The more inflammatory ones, actually, the more sinister, inflammatory one, which I'll let you read out, has actually been interestingly deleted. I don't know if it's been deleted because it's been taken out of context or misquoted, or someone in management said take that down. That's causing trouble. But I think, Kev, you called it the Sadio Mane response, which was it feels very Coutinho. I'm engineering my move now, and I want my move. And look, I don't get upset by things like this anymore because I'm 39 years old. I've seen plenty of footballers force moves, kick-up moves, both out of Liverpool and to Liverpool. People do forget Virgil van Dijk pretty much went on strike for a couple of weeks to try and force a move through in the summer. It didn't quite come off. So it's the way where I don't. It feels a bit unnecessary from Sadio Mane because all the reports externally outside coming in is he's going to get his move. We've named the price. Said get this price, you can have your move.
Which isn't
so now whether he wants to go to Bayern and Bayern have said we won't pay more than we won't pay the Liverpool price, and that's always at the pram. I don't know, or maybe internally it's not all as rosy as we think it is, but it's just like it's a bit of bollocks you could do without just after a European Cup final loss and all the fallout from the European Cup final loss, more importantly, externally. It's a bit of bollocks you could do without, really, Kev, but I think it's just the way it is, isn't it?
It is. It's the game. And this is transfer business. This is transfer moves and, negotiating through social media, through the press. I hate seeing it. But look, these guys, they come in, they sign a contract, they play for the club, they do absolutely fantastic for the club, and they leave. So
I mean, flick it the other way. Was anyone kicking off on Dexy Lovren? Took an advert out to say in the local press to say my head and my heart's in Liverpool. It's not with Southampton. We're all going. We're all going. Oh, is that boss? He wants to come to us. He loves us. Southampton fans hate him. Rightly so. So you're like. It's sadly, it's just the way the world. It feels unnecessary. It does feel a bit unnecessary. It feels like his move's going to be facilitated. That's the thing that sticks in the craw. If we said we're not selling you, you stay, I'd get it a bit.
Yeah, well, the rumor was that he was like, I want to go. Like I think Avi said like he's been wanting out since March. Like he's been wanting to leave since March. Like his mind was made up that he wanted to go before we even sat down to sign and for him to discuss a new deal. Like his mind's been made up to move. So I don't know why he's really kicking off. Like he's going to get his move, but we're not going to sell you for I saw something like 25 million. Nah, not happening. We're going to get our money's worth for him and just sit tight. He's going to go.
Well,
so
playing devil's advocate. Isn't that what Bayern tried to do with Thiago? We'll let you go to Liverpool.
Yeah.
We want our money. We want more than £20 million that we paid for.
Yeah.
And we got it. And we're all going. We got him at a steal. And Bayern Munich also went, yeah, you did get him at a steal because we thought he was signing a new contract, like we were hoping Manny was going to do. And we thought if we're going to sell him 1 year to go, we'd get closer to 40 million, and we got nowhere near that. So we also did it to Thiago.
Yeah, listen, the way I see this going is I think you're not far off with it, Chris, where Bayern have probably told him that this is the price they're willing to pay. And Liverpool have already I'd be amazed if they turn around and said, this is the fee we need to get for you. And if you don't get this fee, we'll quite happily, you can leave for free next year, because there is a level where, and we saw it with Gini Wijnaldum, that if the club didn't receive the transfer fee that they needed for the player, they were quite willing to suck it up for 12 months and let him go for nothing, because
the replacement.
But for what you'd have to spend to replace him in the squad, you're as well off waiting the 12 months and trying to do a better deal somewhere else down the line.
Yeah.
I mean, John O'Dare's got a point. I'm seeing a lot of it going around now. FSG's unwillingness to compromise on the wage structure has caused these problems. With Mane and Salah, we are the only big club in Europe who doesn't have a player on more than £300,000 a week. Okay. Liverpool have the fourth highest wage bill in the Premier League at £43 million less than Manchester City. Now,
Mo Salah hasn't earned 200 grand a week for a long time. With the bonus structures, the way they build it, that's just the way we build it. A lot at City, they probably all get 350 a week, but we don't get the bonus structure. Maybe it's not a big. It's just a different way of doing it.
Exactly. The base wage that the players are on doesn't add up to the total wage bill that we're paying out. We're paying something like 100 and I think Swiss Ramble did post. It was 112 million in bonuses per year. So, and that's just between the squad. and the management. So, Crimea River people are on 200 grand a week. When you factor in everything else, plus the fact that someone like Mo Salah owns his image rights in total,
which he wouldn't do abroad.
Yeah, then you got to look at the total package. Salah's still in the top 10
Europe last season.
Yeah,
he's in the top. I think Salah's in the top 4 or 5
earners for last season.
In football. That doesn't equate to someone who's on 200 grand a week. I'm sorry.
It doesn't. No.
You can read figures whichever way you want to read them to fit whatever narrative and agenda you have. I mean, so
the Miguel Delaney saying us United with Darwin. So if United are from 300 grand, is that it? Do we just walk away?
Yes,
number one target.
There's
two ways to look at it. United have always give players bigger money than us. Guess what? How's it working? It's fucking piss poor because they haven't got no direction. So that's one way of looking at it. And you say if he's Klopp's number one target, how many of Klopp's number one targets has he missed out on it? And like truly number one, because even Timo Werner, who we all know Klopp really wanted him, when he couldn't get him, they moved on to Jota.
Missed out on Julian Brandt.
But when there was, but he went for Salah. They were happy to go for Salah. But Klopp's proven if there are certain players that it's them or nothing, Van Dijk or nothing. And in January it was they could easily just gone, look, we're not going to pay the money for Diaz. He waits for the summer or we do without. And they went and bought him because that was Klopp's number one wing target. That's who he wanted. And you felt like maybe with Klopp it's Luis Diaz or no one. So look, if we don't get Darwin, there'll be someone else. I think Gavin, the guys covered it last night, but I do think the Mane replacement is Diaz for the left wing. The Mane replacement, I think we're going to try and buy when we get rid of him or when he leaves, is going to be a number 9. I think that's where Mane played 6 months of the season, and to be fair, played there very well. I think that's what we're looking for. We're looking for more of a number 9. Yeah, just more of a number 9, because basically, as you've jokingly said with Nunes, he's like a tall Jota. It's probably what you need. Just something a bit different, to get, because we haven't got an Origi
on the end of them Trent crosses, please.
But we haven't got an Origi, have we? We haven't got a physical striker. We've got lots of quick strikers, lots of technical players, lots of good finishers, but we haven't got a physical striker. Just a bit of a different way of playing, different system.
The one thing I've learned over the last 4 or 5 years when it comes to FSG and their transfer policy, they get a lot more right than they do wrong, and the players who leave tend to have. Well, not just that the grass isn't always greener. The fact of the matter is that Gini Wijnaldum is still a very good player. People were bemoaning the fact that he was only earning 70 grand a week while he was at Liverpool. I'm sorry, that's the contract he signed. He was offered an improved contract and he refused to sign it. That's on him. Tough shit.
Yeah, Jono, I disagree.
Crimea River afterwards.
Yeah, Jono, I disagree with this comment as well. Saying we're on course to generate 600 million this season. Yes, not all the 600 million goes into. It's true. Not all the 600 million goes into playing staff. It goes into all other areas of the club. That's every club. That's every club. So we've got no excuses for not spending decent money. We have spent money most years, just not City level monies. I think this is where people get confused. Is we have to spend like City. We have to get to that level. We don't need to get. We've proven we can compete without in our own way. We keep hearing next season. The next season. But I laugh. The reason I laugh at it a little bit, it's not laughing at John, but in terms of people bring it up is people are very quick to slag off the local patch journalists, the James Pearces of the world, Neil Jones Paul Joyce. That's like them off. They know nothing about Liverpool. They know nothing about transfer. They've got no information on Liverpool. They're the ones who put out the next year's a big year. So people believe them when it's that point. But when they talk about transfers, they know bollocks all. It's kind of like it's one or the other. My opinion is they know very little of what's coming too far ahead, because I think the club's decided nothing gets leaked out until it's 80%, 90% done, and then they'll throw them a bone. Because let's face it, all the big positive leaks we've ever had for the transfers have all come from the other side. They've very rarely come from internally.
European ones.
Yeah.
One thing, Jono says sorry, but this has been bugging me. Don't apologise, mate.
That's all right. It's good debate.
It's the time of year where we're going to get linked to every forward with a pulse for the next 6 weeks until we get one.
Like I saw Jonathan David linked today. So
I like Jonathan David. He's a good player.
Yeah. Listen,
and if you're looking to replace Divock Origi, he's an absolute great player to be replacing a Divock Origi with.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a starting number 9, but he's definitely someone who can come in and do a job.
Just to adjust the John thing, I'm fine with people bringing their opinions and the difference of mine.
Yeah.
That's what we want. We want to do it because guess what? Me and Kev, and Luke aren't right. We give our opinion. Sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong. I mean, Luke still thinks Reece Williams is going to start for Liverpool one day. You know, these things can happen one day. You know,
I'm right though.
Yeah, and Kev did say Kev always reminds me. Kev always reminds me. I said I didn't see the point of Joel Matip. I said this years ago. Probably one of the first things I said.
Reece Williams is going to be a new starting centre forward next year. Don't worry.
Yeah, I got it massive wrong with Joel Matip because once he
got I got it wrong with Diaz. Hands up. Yeah. You know, we all get it wrong. But I'll tell you one thing: the strike rate that FSG have is phenomenal. Look, I wanted to put this to you guys because
He's got a book. He's got research.
I've got research. There was two teams.
Don't think I would say it.
Right, and this isn't going to be about Liverpool, okay? Because I don't expect any.
I'll be shocked if he even dipped in the market.
I want to see where these players could end up.
So just so we're clear, Kev, just before we go any further, so long gone days where you and me are winging it now. You're doing research.
Mate, this is my book for this year since I've been on the pod.
Yeah, but most of those pages are blank though. There's not actual research in there.
Yeah, there actually is. Shut up! I've
got a screen and stuff on here. So
okay. So basically, what you're saying is the days was winging it have vanished.
Yeah, they've definitely IP vanished.
IP vanished. Speaking of IP vanish, did you know if you're online using incognito without any protection, you're basically giving all your data away. So what you guys need to do is get IP vanish, which is a VPN, which makes it truly easy to stay private and secure on the internet. And what they do is they'll encrypt 100% of your data, so it'll keep all your private details, passwords, communications, browsing history, and more totally shielded. And with IP Vanish, you don't sacrifice speed, and you can use it on computers, tablets, phones, and Fire Sticks with streaming services, whether you're at home or out in public. So for you guys, IP Vanish are going to offer you guys 70% off their yearly plan with 30-day money-back guarantee. So basically, you're getting 9 months for free. And these guys are rated 4.6 out of 5 on Trustpilot. So if you guys want to take up the offer, go to ipvanish.com/daytrippers, and all the details are in the description below. And I think that's one of my more seamless links. Right, Kev, you were saying.
All right, look.
That's not bad at all.
Here's 2 lists of.
Thank you very much, Tariq.
It wasn't bad, Tariq, was it? To be fair.
That wasn't actually bad, actually. That was the best
It's only towards the end of the season to get it right.
Here's two lists of starting 11s that are available on Freeze this summer.
Oh, okay. That's
right. Now you've got your English one, your UK British based one, Premier League mainly, and I've got a foreign one as well. All right. Now I just want to, there's names in here that perk your ears and say where you think these guys were going to end up.
Okay. Cool.
Sam Johnson,
Crystal Palace, because he's been heavily linked in.
Yeah. James Milner. James Tarkowski.
Oh, he's going to Everton. Everton's the rumour, isn't it? Everton and Villa.
Who?
Tarkowski, Everton and Villa both looking at him. And to be honest, they both need a centre-back. And he's a very good centre-back.
I wouldn't be amazed if someone like a Spurs come in for him.
I think he'll go to Newcastle.
Use him as a squad player.
Oh, Newcastle would be great. Newcastle would love him.
West Ham.
Jeffrey Schlupp. He's been around the block now for a while. He's one of those steady Eddie players, isn't he? He's a handy squad player for a Premier League.
Midfielder, winger.
Yeah, if you're Nottingham Forest or something like that,
not good for us
coming up into the league.
Do you know what? He might do a job for Leeds.
Yeah,
Leeds like a versatile squad option, and to be honest, that's what they suffered with last year
as well.
Exactly. So he cover fullback, he cover wide midfield. I think actually we'll have to get Joe or Oscar on soon and to say what do you think? What do you think of Jeffrey Schlupp?
Well, guys, Milner hasn't signed his contract yet, so saying he's not going anywhere. Look,
I think he'll stay.
I think he'll stay, but I think for the
Oh, by the way,
congratulations to Jimmy
and James Milner as well. Fair play to him.
Yeah, well deserved as well for the work he does on and off the pitch. Right, Paul Pogba,
Juve.
Yeah,
as he basically gone to Juventus on a free, been sold back to United for 90 million, and gone back to Juventus on a free.
He's only 29. You know what I mean? I think in Italy he'll fly it. I think in Italy he'll see him
if they can keep him fit. That's the big issue.
I think if they can keep him fit and keep him motivated.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was the big
he's
issue.
releasing a documentary, the Pogbamentary, on Amazon. So I might actually give that a watch.
I'd watch that just for the crack, to be hilarious.
Here's one for you, Kev. Laszlo saying Spurs are after what's his
Clement
name?
Longley.
I hope they get him because he's absolutely.
That's a horrible signing.
I'd rather have James. I'd rather have Tarkowski. He's awful.
I'll come around to them in a minute, okay? Because
sorry, is he on your list?
No, he's not. But Laszlo's brought up a point that we'll get to in a minute.
Oh, okay, go on
then. Matic, I think he's done in England. To be fair,
yeah, I think
this one's an interesting one. Christian Eriksen.
I think we'll go back to Spurs. I know Brentford. I've seen on Twitter that Brentford have tried to offer him a long-term deal. But I think he'll go back to Spurs. I'd like him at Liverpool
as a squad option. Yeah, I think a lot of top six sides would take him as a squad option. I think for Eriksen, you can go to a top six side, a Liverpool, a Tottenham, Chelsea would all take him as squad options, or he could stay at Brentford. He's playing week in, week out. I suppose
I hope he stays at Brentford.
It's what he wants to do. Does he just want to play week in, week out, or does he want one more crack at being in the Champions League club? But he knows he's not going to play every week.
Yeah, I hope he stays. I hope to God that he does stay at Brentford because I think he's an excellent player.
I think he's linked to Leicester as well, and Leicester.
Yeah. He reminds me of the.
Leicester need a revamp, don't they?
He reminds me of a Shaqiri. Shaqiri at Stoke, big fish, small pond. Christian Eriksen, big fish, small pond at Brentford. It suits him. It suits his game. He's the main man. But you put him in any other squad that's in the top 8, he's one of many. And at this stage in his career, with everything that he's been through, I think he deserves to be the showstopper, the highlight reel, whatever WWE pun you want to put on it. He's the main man. I think he should be going out to a big woo every week. You know what I mean?
Head of the table's the new one they do now. Head of the table. Head of the table. Yeah.
He's the daddy. Oh, Jesse Lingard.
Well, the talk is the West Ham stuff's gone really quiet.
I think it has as well.
Yeah. I wonder if the Newcastle link comes back up.
I saw something that Newcastle weren't going to pay what he wanted in wages, which was around 180 a week he wanted, and Newcastle.
I'll be surprised if the Premier League club doesn't pick him up.
I think he will go to West Ham.
But I think if it gets to start of pre-season, he's not, and no one's picked him up. I think that's when you reassess what you're asking for.
Oh, you mean when reality kicks in?
Yeah.
Juan Mata.
Spain.
But goes back to Spain, I think.
Okay. Lacazette has gone to Lyon.
He's gone to Lyon. Gone back home, hasn't he?
No, in fairness, there's some good free transfers there, for clubs up and down the league. But this one, there's some serious names in here. Ospina at Napoli.
Sorry, mate. I'd take that big fish, small fish box. Remember those days, Kev?
Yeah. He needs a keeper.
Who's that?
Ospina is at Napoli. I see. The thing is,
if Chelsea got rid of Kepa, there's your decent backup.
Yeah.
Well, there's another keeper that's going for free. Walter Benitez from Nice as well.
He's decent.
Yeah, he's
Danny Alves will just retire again.
We'll go back to Brazil.
Felipe at Atletico Madrid, centre back. I think he's in his early 30s, but he's got proper nous. Uruguayan centre back.
Well, Felipe, he's Brazilian, Kev.
No. The other Felipe. No, there's Felipe. Oh, I can't remember. Starts with F. Anyway.
No, he's definitely Brazilian.
Is he Brazilian? I thought he was Uruguayan.
Brazilian, yeah.
But you look at, would Premier League clubs take a punt on him? Especially if you're going to be playing with a deep sit back, counter attack. He's experienced and he's available. Romagnoli is the other one.
Do you know?
Romagnoli is only 27, but he seems like he's been around for years.
Left-footed. I think he's a left-footed centre half, and Chelsea. There's a gap there.
There is, yeah.
For a left-footed centre back. However, there is a thing with Italian players. They don't like to leave their own league, and when they go abroad, especially to England. Name the last Italian player that's actually done all right. You're probably looking at old Bonner at West Ham.
Oh no, your
The
man
rest
at
of them
Chelsea's
haven't.
done okay.
Oh yeah, and Jorginho, but
Jorginho.
it's
But
very
yeah,
rare that they.
but yeah, they're
Second.
the special one. He's a special one. Let's be fair. Isco available on a free from Real Madrid.
Just one for the chat. If you want to give your opinion, that sound like, but if you're going to start saying, where'd you get this rubbish, or wake up, or being a bit arsey on it, just go away, or you'll get
That
muted
comment
and blocked.
about that buying a girl at Lewandowski.
Yeah. I'm not naming the person. There's your polite warning. You know, we're all here for debate. We're all here for a big chat. But you know, there's a way of asking respectfully. So you know, I'll just be clear. I'm not in the mood for it. So if there's any of that nonsense, I'll just block you and move on. Sorry, Kev. Carry on, mate.
No. I just Isco is available on a free.
Isco feels like if it comes to England, if you Chelsea or United sort of style signing,
of like
because
Roma.
Because I do think
Mkhitaryan's going to Inter on a free, so
yeah. But
I mean,
I know he's not on a free, but we talked about Lewandowski saying if his Barca move doesn't come off, which the talk is it might not because Barca are still having to sell to be able to afford wages.
I've just seen something about Gavi, and apparently they're going to sit down with Gavi's contract. And I was like, where are you getting the money from?
I know Lewandowski feels to me like a Chelsea signing because they do like an older striker, and they have mixed reviews of it, but I can see them going for
retirement home.
Raz is asking any news on Florian Newhouse. Oh, do you remember Florian Newhouse?
That went cold.
He's had a bit of he's had a bit of a mare this season. He hasn't really been doing as well as he was. He's still a decent player, but he's I think that was just one of those ones last summer when we were all doing it. We were all just looking around at centre midfielders around Europe and who had a good season that year, you know. And
Laura Duffy's saying
off a bit of a cliff.
Laura Duffy's saying Isco's been linked with Roma and Chelsea, and Red Steve says, "When do we announce Fekir?" We did. We did. It didn't last very long.
Yeah, we tried that one. Yeah,
we tried that one. We even got him in a Liverpool shirt and everything.
Look,
brilliant.
I'm gonna get down to there's some decent names, you know. Talisco, Bayern Munich, French international.
His injuries,
Constantine Tolisso,
his injuries has been a problem for him, hasn't it?
It has, but he's
it's not a talent thing.
Mid.
Good player, just can't stay fit.
I was going to say Spurs for some odd reason, but I'm not.
Right.
I mean, you've linked Spurs with about 7 players now. How many are they buying?
Yeah, I know.
Ousmane Dembele.
But Spurs are going to spend loads of money. Chelsea.
Ousmane Dembele.
I think they'll go to Chelsea.
Yeah, Ousmane Dembele has been linked with Chelsea. Ousmane Dembele, talent-wise, is brilliant. Fitness-wise, and there are questions about his professionalism. The way he left Dortmund, and there were rumblings around at Barcelona that he was not the best. Now, again, was that around contract negotiations? Because you always know when these things are leaked, whose benefit is it for, and was it for the club's benefit? But
Sam Tandy has a good point there about Tolisso as well. Maybe it goes back to Lyon. They love bringing players back there. Yeah, and you know what? They sell well, and when they bring players back, they usually do okay for them. You know, so and there's another one as well that we've constantly been linked with was Renato Sanchez. Apparently, is headed to Italy.
Another player who can't stay fit. Very good. Got the talent, but again, can you keep him fit?
If he goes, I think it might be Roma or AC Milan.
Hey, Kev, that's what we need. We need Keith on this show because South Americans are his thing.
I don't know anything about him, Paul, and that's the truth.
No,
I think he's been linked to City. I think he's been linked to City to join up with Julian Alvarez.
I was gonna say, yeah, they've just took a young.
Yeah, Julian Alvarez, I think, is a snip that they've paid at 14.4 million, and
I think because they've got Haaland now, he can be broken gently as a number 2 striker.
I was saying to Luke that he's. The bits I've seen of him, he reminds me an awful lot of Javier Saviola.
Not a bad player.
A Hernan Crespo type striker that he could be anything. He's still young. He's still really raw.
But the good thing now is he's not going there as the main striker.
He's not going there as the main man.
He's going as being it with Haaland's injury record. He will get
He will get games.
He will get
I think
games.
he'll have a better season than Haaland next year.
I think he could.
That's like my big prediction. Like he's going to have a better season.
I'd say. I
than
mean,
Haaland.
if Haaland stays fit, Haaland will score goals. That's what the lad does. You know,
Yeah, but
the only question about is the muscle injury he picks up. But again, we had this with Gerrard.
another player available. Another player available on a free is Dybala.
I saw that he was
Inter, wasn't it?
Inter, but
I
Inter
can't
going
see
after
Inter.
Lukaku. Does that mean Martinez is leaving, or
Yeah, I can't see Inter doing everything they want to do, and look at Romelu Lukaku as well. I can't see how that's possible. You know, I mean, they're not in the best state financially as it is. You know, and if Dybala wants to go, this is the thing with clubs in Italy; they have no problem selling to each other. You know, or players
which is
moving
odd,
between
we don't
the top
like to
clubs.
do it in England, but
Yeah, I can't remember who was the last. It's very rare that you get a player signing directly from United to Liverpool and Liverpool to United. They
Liverpool
might do an
United-
intermediary.
Liverpool United's not happened since. Was it the 50s?
Yeah.
Since it was a direct one.
I
I mean, us and City, the last one we did direct was
Sterling.
We sold we got Milner from City,
Milner, yeah,
but it's on a freeze. That's a bit of a
Yeah.
fudge. And then the other time we got players from Chelsea, but I mean we got like Victor Moses from Chelsea because at the time they thought we were crap.
Well, we were crap. Let's be fucking honest.
That's why Chelsea that's why Chelsea gave us the player.
Yeah, exactly.
Chelsea wouldn't loan a player to us now.
I mean,
the
last two. Well, one of them is probably going to be decided on Sunday. Is Gareth Bale, and the other one is Luis Suarez.
Suarez is Villa bound. Is all
you
the
think?
talk.
Do you think that's possible?
Yeah, I think it is. As long as Suarez accepts he won't be playing every week, he'll be off the bench and he'll start games here and there. But that's why. So Joe Cole was Joe Cole was the game.
Joe Cole was one. Yeah,
we got him on a free. I mean that worked out well.
Well, for most summers you're always going to have free agents who are available, and most summers up until the Klopp era, we'd be scouring through those lists of players. I take him. I'm looking at these two lists. There's nothing in the Premier League ones that I'd look at, honestly.
It's next summer, Kev. It's
James
next
Milner.
summer.
Yeah, it's next summer, yeah. But the ones abroad, Dybala, if it was 4 years ago. De Sciglio's an interesting one, but we don't really need a left back. Romagnoli's a good centre back, but we've got better. That's it. There's nothing, that's the state of the squad that we have, see. I mean, for all of the bluster and everyone humming and hawing about we need this, and this, the squad is actually in a good spot. It just needs...
It needs a little bit of youth.
It needs that youth in.
I think it's a little bit more... What is the youth? Not Curtis Jones, Elliott, Carvalho, who are kind of mid-20s, like 23 to 25, that sort of age range. We probably could do...
Yeah.
If we're going to bring in a centre mid and an attacker, that's probably the age range you'd look at, where they're not quite near the peak, but they're probably on the cusp of the next age. Basically, they were the sort of age we got Salah and Mane. That's probably what we're looking at. Now, look, who those players are, God knows. The only question about is the squad in a good state is it does, but then you go in, all three of the main strikers are all 1 year left. Keita's 1 year left, and Milner, is getting older.
Well.
Milner's getting older, so may only sign a 1 year extension. But there are quite a few going like, if they all leave this summer or next summer, which is at the moment is happening unless extension agreed. That's actually quite a bit of work to do then. Bringing in 3 new attackers as well as another centre mid or two. So
I think this summer we're going to be active in the window. I think that goes without saying. It's a case of what do we. I'm not going to lie. I love to sign Gavi.
You're
big into it, aren't you?
I would
throw the kitchen down to renegotiate that contract. But
they are. I mean, Barcelona will sell their grandmothers if they can to keep him. He's that good. He's 17 years of age, and I watched the game last night against Portugal, and he ran it. It was like watching Iniesta in his pomp. It was like watching Thiago, You know, when Thiago was at the height of his powers, he's levels above anything I've seen in a central midfielder for someone that age. He's got Messi vibes about how good I think he is. I mean, his buyout currently is 42 million. If there's any sniff that he's available in any way, shape, or form,
I'll be snapping your hand off.
I would take him in a heartbeat over anyone, and I include Jude Bellingham in that.
I don't see it.
I think Jude Bellingham. No, I don't
I think.
either.
I think Barca find a way to get it done.
Yeah, I think they do.
Barca will cook something up. Allegedly, they'll cook something up.
Well,
or they'll move somebody else on. They'll move a bigger name on. Where people
will.
I think I think that's why they're trying to move Frankie de Jong on to make sure they can keep him. And I think we'll find a way of doing that.
I happily hope Frankie de Jong does not force a move, so we get Gavi. Than him go to United and Gavi signs a new
Yeah, I mean, look, there's some business happened already this week. Okay, Leeds have done some good stuff. Aronson and Christensen, good signings. They're linked with Castellanos, New York City FC striker. 23 years of age, scored 28 in his last 43 games in the MLS. Could be anything, don't know, but it's something that they need to look at as a striker. And in Aronson and Christensen, they're bringing in good young talent with European experience, you know, playing in the Champions League, playing in Europe, and going deep into Europe as well. They're good players. Villa brought in Diego Carlos, Boubacar Kamara.
I'm not sold on Diego Carlos, you know.
You don't have to be sold because Villa's ambition isn't to get into the top four.
He's very Degsy Martin Skirtle.
Yeah,
that's fine.
But that gets you
Brazilian Mings.
No, that gets you Champions League, or gets you into the Europa League spots.
Which what Villa need. Villa just need to get into Europe. They probably should have got into it this year.
And in fairness, he's playing for a club that's in Europe constantly for the last 5 years. You know, and not just in Europe, winning in Europe, winning European competitions. So
Villa have also been linked to the Rangers centre back, Bassi.
Bassi, yeah. Oh, yeah. Bassi looks like a good player.
He looks like a good young talent, who can also cover.
Yes, I did say that, Laura Duffy.
Yeah,
Brazilian.
Yeah, Aaron Hickey they've been linked with as well. The kid at Bologna, left back.
He's linked with Brentford as well.
Yeah, I don't see him going to Villa. I wouldn't be surprised to see him come into the Premier League.
I think he'll end up at Arsenal. I think he'll end up there.
The only way I think he ends up at Arsenal is if Arsenal decide to put Tierney in as a third centre back.
Yeah, which they could do.
He spends enough time out on the injury.
Yeah,
there's also that factor as well.
So
apparently Villa are also looking at Basuma and they're looking at Tarkowski. Now, I've seen rumours that's linking Basuma with a move abroad, move to Spain.
I saw one to Italy as well.
Yeah, I think he's going to be looking to move out of England, to be honest.
It all depends on how his off-the-field business...
Let's not get into that. Let's not get into that.
Allegedly.
He also probably wants to get in place for status in Europe.
He probably wants Champions League football. Probably wants Europe.
Oh, Europa League football. Because he's not. Yeah. He hasn't played... I don't think he's played much.
Do you know what? Hey, if Declan Rice went, he'd be great at West Ham.
He would.
Great.
I saw one actually that was an interesting one. Was apparently Thomas Souček has been offered to Chelsea, and he's been offered to Spurs because West Ham are struggling to get a deal over the line with him to extend his contract. And
I see Spurs more than Chelsea because I think they need.
I don't know, you know.
I think they need a bit more in the middle. So the only thing with Chelsea is. Kante's injuries keep piling up. They're different type of players, I grant you.
Yeah, I saw Basuma with Chelsea.
And the Saul experiment didn't work.
Yeah, the Saul experiment.
I mean, the one thing for certain, right, is the transfer window doesn't open until the 10th of June.
What do you mean, Kev? Why aren't they all done now? What's going on?
This is going to be a savage, busy window for every club.
Yeah, because we're all shopping the top six. I'd about to say they're all shopping at the same market, but we all practically are.
And the other thing that's with the World Cup in the middle of the season, you
I'll
don't
be
want
avoiding
mass.
players
You
going to the
don't.
World
You don't
Cup.
want. You don't want mass changes in your squad because I think before the World Cup it's 16 league games plus your 6 Champions League games and only 2 League Cup games. The League Cup is a lot later, and most of the League Cup's going to be post World Cup. So there aren't going to be many games where you can like blood in youngsters. If you sign a lot of
Fresh
youngsters
signings.
like Fabio Carvalho. But the thing that will be interesting is how the 5 sub rule works, because you wonder, is this game where you do throw in, where you might see like Simicas and Carvalho start a game where we're all going, oh, once but then start away at West Ham, for example. But then if it doesn't go right, 5 subs, we've seen with Klopp 5 subs, you can change that very quickly, and that's your rotation fitness option. I mean,
it can also go the other way with if you go 1-0 down against a side, you know, they've got the capacity to make changes to shore it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This game, you know, a lot of things are going to change next year. One thing I wanted to say about Villa, Neil Critchley going there as an assistant manager.
Yeah, it's an interesting
Steven
one. Giving up a manager's position to go and be the
I think they
assistant
got promoted
manager.
as well, didn't they?
Yeah, from League One.
Yeah, so
he did a good job, but I was a little surprised, but maybe I don't know.
But I think that would make, if you know the type of football that he played, that he wanted to play, and you know the type of football that Gerrard wants Villa to nail down. You can look at the type of players he's bringing in. Boubacar Kamara is a good player. Coutinho signing on a permanent deal. If you wanted to bring in the likes of Suarez to help with Watkins and Ings up front, they're adding good quality players, you know.
Villa could become one of those ones where they shouldn't trouble the traditional top 6, but it becomes one of those ball ache away games where you're going like, oh, I can't be arsed with Villa away. You know, you go like, it's one
Pressure's
you should win, but it's one you should win. But you know, do you know when like Stoke away when they were really good was like, oh, all big sides win at Stoke away, all big sides win at Burnley away. But at their peak, you were like, yeah, but if you're not quite at your best, they'll turn you over. And Villa used to be like that under Martin O'Neill, where they were never going to get top 4. They were never good enough for top 4. But if you work quite on your game, they got some big results against the Liverpools, the Arsenals, the Tottenhams. They would turn them over because they had that ability. Villa could become that, which, to be fair, will get them Europa League or Europa Conference football.
I think
which
the
is where they
pressure's on
want to go
Gerrard next season. The pressure is on.
Laszlo's made a good point there, actually. All the talk was that Michael Beale was the man in charge of tactics, and Gerrard needs a top coach there. He's just a figurehead manager. I tell you, he got away with it this season to an extent.
To be fair, though, Klopp is accused of that quite a lot as well.
Yeah. But I think Gerrard got away with a fair bit last year where he was assessing the squad that he had. He got it over the line. From August on, it's going to be his squad, and he's going to be judged on his business, his and how he can. The squad he's putting together should be looking to get into the top 8. You know, I mean, Newcastle will threaten it depending, and they haven't moved yet. The kiddie that they're looking to sign from France, I think his name's Ekatike. Young kid, 19 years of age, is really highly rated. They tried to get him in January and they couldn't get it over the line, but he's looking like a 30+ million pounds player that they're going to get over the line and get him in. But I think the other ones that could be on the move this summer is Lucas Paqueta. Very good player, very, very good player, very technical player. One that would actually suit us, I think, if we were looking for that type of midfielder who's a link between your centre mid and your attacking players, or your traditional, your number 10 type player. I think he'd be really good. Someone mentioned in the chat there, and he always gets mentioned every transfer window, is Our. Fallen off a cliff. He's down to the last year in his contract now.
13 million, I think.
Yeah, but he's just nowhere near it this year. He's nowhere near. It's still a really top talent, but for whatever reason, it's not.
That's Lauren.
I think he could be gone. I actually believe he could be gone.
I'll be honest. If he does sell Mings,
apparently
that does it's also a bit of a statement that by Gerrard, because that's selling your club captain. Whether you rate the player or not,
Classy to come in to replace him.
selling your club captain or demoting your club captain is whatever club you're at. That's a
Have him
ballsy big
rotate
move.
with Digne to play left back and just keep him.
Yeah, Basti would be a good sign. And he was really good in the Europa League
25
run
million,
for-
I think I saw the price.
He was very good in the Europa League run for Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Jonathan, ours 10 to 15 mil worth of gamble for any club. The fact that no one's come in for him means that something's not right. You're dead on. We know that the owner at that club, at Lyon, is an absolute shite hawk to deal with. But at the same time,
there's a reason why only Real Betis went for him.
Yeah, plenty of other clubs around Europe have the wherewithals to be able to go and afford someone like that, even in the Bundesliga. You look at the rebuilds that are going on over there with Dortmund. You can't tell me that someone like our isn't.
You couldn't tell me Chelsea.
Caliber
you couldn't tell me Chelsea. There. You couldn't tell me Chelsea wouldn't rather risk him than Saul. He'd be less wages, less risk, and they all went. That's not for me, though.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So there must be a reason for it. Whether it could be off the field, it could be his fitness. Something's not quite right. But ever since that transfer for Liverpool fell through, no big club's gone near him.
Yeah, apart from Arsenal.
No big club's gone near him. Arsenal flight's going to be. Wait a minute.
He's all right. But it's going to be one of those windows that I think we need the domino effect. And I don't look at Haaland as being the start of that domino. I think
Sadio Mane might be it.
I think Sadio triggers Lewandowski, triggers Gnabry.
I actually said that this window's a poor window. Like when you look at the players available, like no one really stands. No one really stands out. There's not like a dirt.
I think you're going to see players become available because of circumstance.
Plus, we've still got the Nations League on at the moment, and I think Sadio Mane is away with
pointless before they got battered by Holland.
Yeah, and Sadio Mane is away with Senegal. So again, it could be
another Egypt as well.
Yeah, so it could be another couple of weeks before you see things really hot up because they want to get out of the way.
Yeah, look, you've got a big long bank holiday in the UK as well, and the rest of Europe is first Monday in June. Is always bank holidays everywhere.
I am enjoying the bank holiday because I've had.
Oh, you guys got it all, didn't you, this weekend?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I had 2 days off work, so I'm happy.
Regardless, right, I'm thinking of Fekir, not our. Our is a different conversation. I think there's an attitude thing with him.
Yeah, Fekir isn't. Fekir is actual. Look, apparently it did come out after what happened with Fekir. It was the agents the people who were around him at the time created havoc, and the club set their stance and walked away, which is a real shame because he's been brilliant for Betis.
But no one since then. No one by now, Chelsea or someone will be sniffing around him. No one's sniffing around him.
No, but he's just really good. He's another Christian Eriksen.
It's really good.
Big fish, small pond. He's really good as being the main man. And he's Dimitri Payet, another one. He's had a really good season where he's the main man at the club. I think he's at Marseille and he is the main man. So it's like there are players like that just don't fit into being at a top tier club because they can't buy into just being one of many. Yeah, it takes a special kind of player, and that's why we depend on the recruitment and the ability to weed through all of that to get through to the psychology of players that they can.
I wonder if we're the start of the domino effect this summer. I think possibly when you have some proper links, like realistic, like it's pretty much done. Like Paul Joyce saying, Liverpool are almost agreeing terms with X. We all look and go, that's a Sadio Mane replacement, or that's the centre mid we all want, and then that starts the cascade. Because I think as soon as we know who we're replacing Mane with, or we get it agreed who we're replacing Mane with, I think maybe for once we might actually be the start of a domino effect.
I hope so. Look, I think we do need to. There is a couple of issues. Midfield, the age of the midfield needs to be reduced.
Yeah,
and massively. We have to plan for.
We need to get rid of the legs of chest.
Would you bring forward Bellingham a year?
Yes,
I would.
If it was 80 million and Liverpool were prepared to spend that type of money for Tchouaméni, Why not just bring Bellingham
I
a
don't believe
year?
they were. I don't believe for a second that we were paying any more than 40 million for Tchouameni, and I don't think he's worth any more
That
than
went
that.
up a lot, that transfer.
Yeah, it went up a lot because his demand went up, but I don't think he's worth. Let's put it this way: if we signed him tomorrow, he still doesn't start ahead of Fabinho. So he's not. You're not going to spend that much money on someone to play a bit part or to push him. At 80 million pounds, you're paying someone to come in and replace Fabinho, and he's just not that good. He's good. He's got the potential to be top tier, but he's a long way off that yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Bellingham is a pure FSG signing. You're buying someone for a decade.
Yeah.
You know,
Get his brother in as well.
Or if you're cynical, you buy someone for 4 years and then you're selling them for a massive profit. Whichever side of the fence you sit on with the owners,
it is a bit of a no-brainer.
It suits them.
Yeah, I don't believe this. Like Laszlo saying there, Dortmund won't sell. Dortmund didn't make anywhere near the amount of money people think they did out of Erling Haaland. They paid a chunk of change to get him, and a lot of money.
That release clause screwed them.
Yeah, the release clause screwed them over because a lot of the money that they made on that went back to RB Leipzig and went back to his first club. It was one of those deals that they literally gave him the platform to show what he was worth, and they recouped what they initially invested and probably covered the wages that they paid him as well.
Yeah.
I don't think they made anywhere near as much as what they did.
I also think once fairly reputable sources are giving you a price, Dortmund won't say anything below 80 million. You kind of set your bar there, and that's generally the negotiation point then, which is you say 80 or we'll go with, somebody goes, we'll say 60 and you meet in the middle. Because you can make 80 work with add-ons. And a lot of clubs where Dortmund will say a deal's worth 80, somebody else will say a deal's worth 60. The truth's actually in the middle. So I think
Dave is asking there about Nat Phillips. I think Nat goes to he's done really well on loan at Bournemouth.
Has he done really well at Bournemouth?
He has done well. He has done well.
I was listening to Anfield Rap, and they had the Bournemouth fan on, and they were saying it was quite mixed, as in quite a few were underwhelmed by it. It didn't say like he'd done okay. He hadn't been terrible, but I was like going.
I thought the games that I watched him playing, I thought he's done all right. The same with Nico,
I think
he's
Nico's
done really
had a very good loan.
Yeah, he's had a good loan at Fulham, and it would make sense if Fulham wanted to make that permanent,
He's available for about 10, 12 million, I think. Nico Williams this summer.
Also, we get the money this summer as well for
Harry Wilson as well.
Harry Wilson and Grujic. Harry Wilson and Grujich's money both comes in this summer because that was the deals we did with Porto and Fulham because financially they couldn't afford to pay the fees.
Yeah, apparently, we've been linked with Bellingham's brother as well.
Yeah, to come into the under-16s. He's apparently quite good on his own right. So I don't think we go near 80 million. I don't think he's worth it, to be honest.
His numbers for this season
I think he's carried on
surprised me a lot because Henderson had better numbers all around than Jude this season.
But Dortmund as a whole massively
underperformed. And that's why they sacked the manager.
So again, that's where sometimes his stats are what they are, but if you also decide that's massively performing, that does cause issues.
People can, and they were in the chat there when I started talking about international football. You don't like him, what have you? Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to be watching England-Hungary to watch the players like Bellingham because don't get a chance to watch them that often. I watched Spain last night to watch Gavi. I watched
taking a bit of a break.
I watched the Netherlands tonight, and I tell you what, Memphis Depay. Oh, he's a different player when he plays for the Netherlands, man. He is unreal.
2 years left on his deal at the moment.
Yeah, he's one of these players that when he puts on that orange shirt is outstanding. That's why I watch international football. I watch the Ireland game tomorrow for because it's the Ireland game, but I watch everything else to watch the players who you hope we're looking at. Italy is another one. If Barella is available and playing, I wouldn't mind watching this. See how Barella gets on.
I don't see him leaving Italy.
And Dicko saying, Ivan Toney literally wants us. I'm not sure we want him. He's good. Look, he's done all right, but he's definitely leaving Brentford.
He's got a big. he wouldn't get away with some of the stuff he said during the season.
I don't think he'd do that at a big a club
It's
like
only with
Liverpool.
Newcastle. It might
No,
perfect
I
sense
say
for West
he's
Ham.
been-
He's ex Newcastle, isn't he? 'Cause he was
Sex
Exactly.
Newcastle, yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with someone like an Ivan Toney, if you want a number 9, he's all right. You know what I mean? He's all
West
right.
Ham.
You can bring him
But
into the squad, but
he's your Divock replacement. He's not your.
yeah, if
he's
the
not your
price
Mane
is right,
replacement.
well, I don't think you're talking. Brentford wouldn't be selling him for any less than 15 million. You know, and to be fair, I
15
don't
or
see us
50.
15.
What, Ivan Toney?
Yeah, he's not worth more than 15 million. He's only got a few years. If he's got a
I think you're talking. He's English. He had an
Yeah,
all
but
right season.
what's he got left in his
35?
contract? He's only probably got a year or two. He's only going to be on championship wages. He's not
I
going to
think
be
it'd
on
be like
superstar
35
wages.
million. I think it'd be a lot more.
Not a hope.
I think that's what Arsenal fans saying that they'd take him up front.
But this is the thing. Arsenal, I'm convinced, are going to get Gabriel Jesus. That just makes sense all around.
Contract expires 2025.
For Ivan Toney.
Yeah.
Ivan Toney, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
He's going to cost a chunk.
That just ends that discussion right there because
Yeah, that's
35, 40. At
yeah,
least.
he's got to rot. He's got to rot in the Brentford
Yeah.
because nobody's going to pay what Brentford.
If you have a look
That's
at
an
some of the
interesting
players,
question, actually. Would you take Gabriel Jesus?
he stopping scoring against us because he always seems to do it.
Yeah, there is that. Not as a number 9 though, as a wide option, yes.
No.
But not through the middle. I don't think he's. I think
One
well,
year left on his deal, and plus,
even
City
City
would
have-
never sell to us.
No, but even City have shown that. City prefer to play him wide. They don't because of his work ethic. His work ethic's brilliant.
Yeah,
but he is a
Scott,
bit. He's,
Scott Willig, he's on the ball with me. He's like, you know,
Nkunku.
Christopher Nkunku is an outstanding forward, but he's one I
He
could
wants
see.
stupid money.
I could see PSG going for him and trying because they're losing Di Maria.
Apparently, he wanted to. Apparently, if Mbappe left, PSG would have gone and got him because he wants.
But they
to go
had,
back.
yeah, he was at PSG. He started at PSG, and I think he wants to get into the France setup. So to get into the France setup, you need to be playing in France. You know, whatever it is about.
Deschamps.
Yeah,
we talked about this.
We-
Kev Paul.
yeah, we
talked
did.
about because let's end this one because I don't think we're going to Liverpool, but this will boil a bit of piss as well. So it'll be quite funny. What do you take Sterling back? This is in the world where City were willing to sell to Liverpool, which, quite frankly, is never going to happen because City will never sell stuff to us, and vice versa. I don't think we'll sell to them either. I think the only way players transfer between us two now is if it's
for free. That's it.
Like a certain Egyptian might, but we'll worry about that when that happens, if that happens. Would you take Sterling back, Luke?
Nah.
Is it because of the way he left, or is it because you don't think he's good enough as a footballer?
A bit of that. Like, I'm still bitter. However, we need a finisher, and if he would frustrate me so much. Like, he'll miss like the easiest opportunities. And I think we're at the stage where Liverpool needs someone that is like a 1-on-1, one chance, one shot, one goal. Like not like the Champions League final when it was like 10 shots on target, 0 goals. So no.
But I suppose if you're playing devil's advocate, Diaz doesn't score enough, and Salah does miss a lot of chances. But he could cover left and right. And when Salah was off the ball a bit, starting with Sterling, bringing Salah off the bench, cover your wide positions. He's got pace to burn.
If he goes for a free, but I don't think City are going to let him run down that contract. Like
I don't think so. I think he'll go abroad potentially, or he might go somewhere like a Chelsea or a. I don't think he'll go to us. Kev, would you take him back?
I think there's way too much history there. I think there's way too much baggage. I think he is a good player, and I think he's improved.
Klopp loves a redemption story, doesn't he?
I think Klopp could do things with him. I think Klopp could change his game and tailor his game to play off the wings differently. But I still don't think he's. I don't think he'll ever get over the hump that everyone in the fan base would have when he goes through a Barron's match.
He'd have to come back with his tail between his legs.
Yeah, I just don't see it. I think
yeah.
I see him in London. I think he's a London boy.
QPR, wasn't he? Where we've got him from.
It's a case of whether you could see him at a Spurs, or you could see him if Spurs wanted to make a statement and go big on someone.
Chelsea, Arsenal.
I don't see. The thing is with Chelsea, right? Chelsea need to clear the decks, and they've got a problem where they've got to recruit at least 2 centre backs, if not 3. They've got to recruit a proper wing back, and they can't do everything in one window. So Laura's got a point there as well. Also, not the way he left and what he did to Gomez. Yeah, I don't see the Gomez thing being an issue, but I think the way he left, I think that left a sour taste. The way he engineered the move, I just don't think you can come back from that.
Yeah. Well, him leaving, I mean, that was sort of symbolised where Liverpool were. Not very good.
No. I don't blame him for wanting to go, because look at where City were and look at where we were at the time. So,
but I know what you mean.
Don't blame that.
The way he engineered the move, people don't like, but I mean, it happens a lot now. That's kind of, whether we like it or not, that's kind of the way deals are done these days.
Yeah.
From a pure football perspective, I don't think it hurt. I think we need more of a central striker than a winger, but he could cover left and right. And he knows what he's doing, and I think Klopp would, get him playing the way that we want. But I think the problem is there's probably too much the fan base who would never expect him. Lads are saying never go back. Well, we'll see, because some players you go back to, they do work. But not always, but sometimes it does. But,
very rare. Very
rare.
I mean, look, it's going to be a busy window, and I know that the guys got some new shows coming up, transfer specific shows. And they're going to be coming thick and fast all the way through the summer. And Dicko asked there about, should we look at Martinelli?
Arsenal's going to be an interesting one, because they need to really fatten that squad out.
2 years left on him and Saka's contracts.
And also, the likes of Martinelli and Saka. Yeah, Martinelli and Saka both want Champions League football, I would have thought. Because that's what we were saying earlier in the season, is Arsenal really need Champions League this year, because they are potentially building the squad the right way, but people start circling now going, well, they've just been to the Champions League, let's have him and him. And we know Arsenal will sell, because Arsenal have done it, sold plenty of big stars to Chelsea's and Cities. They will do it. So, but for us going forward, us as in Sports Unplugged, where the aim is over the summer is we're going to try and do a bit more transfer chat, but we're not Liverpool central. So we're going to try and get, I think we're hoping to try and get Luke from Radford Side on next week to talk Tottenham. And we're just going to have a chat, and we're going to ask where he is. I mean, to be fair, Tottenham actually done some business as well. So we talk about where does he think Tottenham are going? What does he want to see going forward? What does he think is realistic for them for next year, for their evolution? Again, we can get his opinion on what he sees from the outside looking at Liverpool. And look, we're going to try and get a few more fans from other clubs on. So I think we're going to try and get Oscar on from All Leeds TV, and we're just going to start asking around. We'll try and get Leicester fans on. But what we'd love to get on is we'd love to get some fans on for the likes of your Wolves, your Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest just come up. So we're going to start doing a bit of hunting now, aren't we, Kev? Because it'd be quite. I just, to be honest, it's nice to talk about clubs that look. They're not on my rate. I don't profess to watch Bournemouth or Wolves or Forest loads. I haven't got enough time in my life to do it. But I'd like to hear what they think for their seasons, is where they think they go. Because I think Leicester, if we can get anyone from Leicester, will be an interesting chat. Because I think Leicester feel like they're in the middle of a rebuild. Yeah, but they also we all do this. I mean, we all do this. Rodgers, because we do, because that's what it is.
The one thing I'd say with Leicester, Leicester buy well.
Is different. Yeah, that's what I mean. An unclose perspective is a lot different.
Yeah,
so some people will mock Rodgers, but you go, but where Leicester are or where Leicester want to be, they go, yeah, but he's what we need. And I think sometimes we forget that, because we're in our Liverpool bubble, and we have a different view on things like that. So that's the plan for us, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the plan for us, and I think there's going to be more stuff, Liverpool specific, obviously.
Yeah,
going through the summer, there's going to be loads of content. You guys know how it works, anyway. There's going to be loads and loads of stuff.
Better be a draft,
as long as there'll be drafts fine, but then if you guys are doing quizzes, then I'm going to be.
You mean a quiz again, Kev?
No
Kev,
you could do the quiz, Luke. I'm having a night off.
Luke, if Gav needs a quiz doing, we'll nominate you from Sports Unplugged
Yeah,
team.
go on.
You can do the quiz. That me and Kev are quite happy to not do quizzes because we're rubbish at them.
Yeah, I've actually literally got it on my bio on Twitter. Shite your quizzes.
That's why we keep doing it. Starting to get 20% on Antic saying starting to get 20% of any money sale. Apparently, it's 20% of the profit.
No, yeah, 20% of the profit. And
so the way it works
Chris,
at the moment, I think the way we worked it out is if we sold money for 42.5 million, which is the rumored fee, we bought money I think for 35, so they would get 20% of 7.5 million, which is about, I think it's under 2 million. It's about 1.5 million, so it doesn't sound quite as bad as people. Because I know I saw me and you both saw the fallout. People got really upset over it. Salon clauses are quite normal now, but a lot of them now seem to be on the profit,
on the fee, it used to be on the fee, but now it's on the profit.
Laura Duffy saying, "Is Bracky making the quiz or participants? There's a big difference. There is a big difference. I'm not allowed to write quizzes after I bowled up one royally."
Yeah, I know. I saw the ones last summer.
Yeah,
Don't
and
worry,
also
I was watching.
I'll be honest, taking part in quizzes, I'm not much better. So to be honest, me and quizzes are probably just best to be kept apart. Drafts are more fun though. I quite enjoy doing drafts.
Yeah, drafts I like. Drafts I definitely like.
That's whether it's hosted or doing them, because actually there's good stress. Especially do one with Keith. Keith is very good at drafts and the mind games. Keith's brilliant at the mind games and the draft. Listen,
right, let's wrap this up because some of us got homes to go to. Where
where are you?
But I got things to do.
I say, where are you now? Then?
I've got things to do in my home, man.
What this
is at work? Yeah, she's at work. She's finished work now, and it means she's going to be home soon. And I can see the kitchen from here.
Oh, you're not doing your jobs.
I'm doing homework. What are you talking about?
Yeah, good job. These aren't recorded.
I can't blaming you.
Yeah, good job these aren't recorded, Kev, isn't it? Listen, I've spoke to your better half. She's fine with me. It's you she's got the problem with. She thinks I'm all right.
Yeah, that'll
change.
So,
yeah, it will do when she speaks to me properly. So, listen, guys, thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves, and the guys will be back on Sunday with the Fatback 4. Until then, stay safe and stay happy.